Hey everybody, and welcome to the new video. I'm Steven.
And my name is Matthew.
And today we're going to be reviewing the new movie, Fateful Findings.
A film directed, produced, written, and acted by the one and only Neil Breen himself. Okay guys, so yeah, as we said, Neil Breen, he directed, produced, and wrote this film, pretty much did everything on this film. And he's made 3 other films, but Fateful Findings was just... It's
the easiest access to. It's on YouTube.
It's a treasure, honestly. it's a treasure. Guys, keep in mind that throughout this review, we're not going to be taken seriously. Like, this is just... We're just going to freestyle this because there's no point in even giving this, like, a full-fledged review, because it's just nonsensical. There's no point in doing it. But...
Neil Breen.
Okay, so... You guys know about Tommy Wiseau. He did The Room. You guys know about the guy from Birdemic. But this guy, Neil Breen, like, he is probably...
He's a legend.
He's probably, like, the next best thing in so bad that it's good movie filmmaking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not even kidding you.
I just really want to know. I want to know one thing. Is he really... I understand he's passionate about filmmaking. I get that. I know he's passionate about filmmaking.
I respect filmmaking.
But is he... Are his movies actually to be taken seriously?
Yes. Yes. I mean, guys, seriously, like... for any filmmaker out there, whether you make good movies or bad movies, I respect your filmmaking ambitions, right?
Yeah, definitely.
If you're really trying, I respect it. But this guy... Even if he is trying to be serious, I just can't tell if, like, himself... If he's trying to be serious, or if, like, he's trying to make his movie serious, because... I don't know what they're supposed to be. It's an enigma. That's what these are.
Yeah.
So, guys, the plot of this masterpiece, Fateful Findings, a film by Neil Breen, by the way. Neil Breen. The plot is that we have this guy named Dylan, I guess?
Yeah.
And, like, he has a wife and everything. And as a kid, he had a best friend who they found, like, a magical mushroom that turned their life upside down in a good way, I guess, because he became a magical and really intellectual hacker, I guess. And he's trying to... And so we follow Dylan throughout his life as he gets older, and he basically... He tries to, like, hack into the government... He tries to hack into the government agency or whatever, and he's trying to expose, like, actual...
All the hackers.
Big corporations for, like, all their greed and everything. So basically the moral of the story is that greed is bad, but that's not almost the entire focus of the movie. The movie is just...
And that's the best way we can describe the plot.
Guys, again, trying to explain this plot to you is like trying to find the abominable snowman. You're wasting your time here.
There's just so many loose ends, and it just... that's the best way we can put it.
This movie, like, guys, like, if you guys watch this movie, I promise you, your IQ points will drop. I guarantee you that.
Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the characters. Now, I just want to say...
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, I just want to say, like... Alright, so Neil Breen, he directed this movie. And did he just tell his actors, alright, just act like you don't want to be here. Don't want to be on this set or in this movie. Because... I'll be honest, there is, like, one actor that... There might be, like, 1 or 2 actors in the movie that kind of save the film. Like, they're like, hey, they're good. But everybody else just acts the same way.
Who are those characters? Like,
there was one of them in... Okay, so, in the beginning of the movie, Neil... Right? Is it the beginning? Neil Breen gets ran over by a car. He gets hit by a car.
He gets hit by a car.
And then... All the people surrounded by him, they just, like, gather around and they're just like, is he okay?
Is he okay?
Is he breathing?
Like, call 911.
Yeah, but there was, like, one person out of, like, 6 or 7 in that acting sequence that actually made sense. I can't remember what he said, but he was actually decent. Everybody else was just like, is he breathing? Is he breathing? Just, like, being repetitive.
You can believe my performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I have to point out this, though. The movie... It just looks so... It doesn't even look like a movie. It looks like a YouTube video. There's no effects in the movie in terms of, like cinematography.
There's special effects, but they're not so special effects.
But the movie just looks like raw footage. And
he's actually said that there actually is a lot of stock footage, so...
Yeah, it's just stock footage. And it just makes it look so boring. Like, there's nothing cinematic about it.
Okay, well, if I were to list some positives about the movie, for one... There were a few opening shots that did look decent. Like, for example, like, the first shot you see in the movie is, like, a building. It's, like, a time-lapse photo. It's, like, a time-lapse video of, like,
and
a
it's
building.
Like a dolly zoom effect.
And, like, there's, like, clouds going by. That was, like, an okay shot. There were shots of, like, the environments and forest and everything. Yeah. I thought those were decent. They were okay, you know?
Yeah.
some cinematography points were okay, and the second thing I can list about this movie is that there are some pretty attractive women in this movie.
Yes. Like, yeah, that's funny.
I mean, like, is that the best thing? It's sad. That's like the only best thing we can point about this movie. But there are like gorgeous women in this movie, and I'm just like, how in the hell did Neil Breen get these women on this movie?
Well, I think Neil Breen.
How did he do this?
I think Neil Breen. Like, does he just like?
We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, but just know that like. There's only so many good things about this movie, and I myself cannot even consider it to be so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
There were some moments in the movie that honestly made me laugh out loud, but for the most part, this movie is an hour and 40 minutes, and it just drags on. Like, there's like these long, unnecessary long takes of just nothing that adds nothing to the story, and you're just sitting there like, this is so boring. Like, why does it have to be this long?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the characters. Well, first of all, Stephen, were there any characters that you actually liked in the movie?
No.
Well, then again, like there's lack of no character. There are no characters, guys. There are no characters. But let's get into the non-characters. So again, we have Neil Breen, Neil Breen acts in like every one of his movies, but but this time around he's a hacker. I guess he's a book writer. He's a hacker. We don't even know what he is.
Yeah.
And he's got like supernatural powers because of this rock he has in his hand and everything. And I don't know what this rock symbolizes, but and then you have his wife who is a pill junkie and she has like an accent. So and then of course we have like some funny characters like oh gosh, like,
the friend, the drunk friend.
The drunk friend. Like, it's the worst performance of a drunken person I've ever seen.
He got a couple cliche roles. And
like he has like a wife who like. Is always having back problems, and she's always like complaining, and she like is trying to like leave him, but he wants to be with her. It's just and they're always fighting, and of course you got the hot daughter. She is gorgeous, and for some reason, spoilers of course by the way, but don't see this movie. The spoilers though. This daughter has like she's like infatuated with Neil Breen's character for some reason.
Yeah.
That's
how all the hot girls in this movie are. Yes. They all secretly like Neil Breen.
I don't know why. Why does she like this bland, pasty person? he's so bland. I'm not even sure how his wife likes him.
For his pills.
Yeah, probably so.
There's just one scene in the movie where Neil Breen's like, I need to take my pills. And he's like, where are my pills?
And 15 seconds later, I'll get your pills.
I'll get your pills.
I've got your pills, and she just tosses into me. And he's like,
I've got your pills.
It's like, yeah, thank you. And then he's like, I don't need to take these anymore, and he just throws them in the toilet.
Yeah, like, what's the point of asking for the pills if you're not gonna take them?
And the wife, she is of course she likes the pills, so she's like, no, don't do that. Don't throw them in the toilet. And he throws them in the toilet, and she's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And she of course reaches into the toilet and picks up the pills, and we're just like, why? You're gonna get so much disease from eating those pills because it's been in the dirty toilet. But there are more scenes in the movie, like Neil Breen, again, respect his ambitions, right? And I'm sure in real life he must be a nice guy. I don't know the guy personally, but it's just in his movies he just comes off as a creepy dude. I'm not making this up. There are scenes in the movie where he specifically smiles. He's just like.
And there's a bunch of dream sequences too.
Yeah.
And it's like a trash bag room.
It's a trash bag.
Looks like.
It's made out of trash bags.
And it's just Neil Breen naked in every sequence.
And there's a girl who's sitting awkwardly next to him, scrounged up in fetal position.
Yeah, and none of it's explained either. I don't think.
Again, there's some type of pretentious symbolism, but for the life of us, and keep in mind we've seen this movie twice. We just cannot wrap our heads around this thing because there's no point in making sense of it.
Yeah, I mean, me and Matthew, we like to see, B movies like this. We love Zombievers.
We enjoyed Poltergeist,
just funny movies like that.
But see, the thing is, with this movie, like I said, the reason I can't consider it so bad that it's good is because it's just a pain. It's just a pain to sit through. There were some moments that made me laugh, but for the most part, it's just so boring. At least with Poltergeist and Zombievers, while they're terrible movies, they actually are entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's just how I feel. You guys might disagree, but
I'll be honest though, I was laughing my butt off throughout the whole movie of Fateful Findings, just because none of it made sense and it was all just it was really amateur.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to what are some good moments in the film? Oh, hold on. Let's talk about the beginning again. Okay, so in the beginning, the main character Dylan, who's played by Neil Breen, he gets run over by a car, right? And we see him. Well, okay, no, before that, here's a nonsensical point, right? So he's walking out of the hospital, right? But and like, cause like we jump cut from like him being a kid to like him being an adult, right? And like there's like the scene like where he does like this, like because like he's outside, right? Well, the shot right after that, like there's like a blue background behind him, but the shot right after that is him coming outside of a building. So what's with the shot of him like outside? But, like, there's, like, a shot of him inside a building. And then, like, you know, he continues talking to his wife. And, like, well, at least she's talking to him. He's not saying anything to her, but but we at least think he's talking to her. And then he gets run over by a car. And he's still holding the stone in his hand. And then, like, he's in the hospital and everything. And, like, he just walks out of the hospital and goes home. And there's like, this awkward scene, like, with, like, his wife and him in the shower. And, like, he has, like, like this medical bag over his face or something like that.
It's
like
a mask on.
A pad or whatever. I don't know what you call it. But like, there's just like this awkward embrace, like where they're just like in this whole vicinity doing this bull crap right here. Like just like an awkward embrace, like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Man,
it's just so terrible, guys.
I've actually seen the movie 3 times. The first time I was coming home from work and Matthew was saying, "Hey, dude, I just like heard about this new movie called Fateful Findings. We gotta watch it." And we blew it off a couple days. I was like, Fateful Findings, like, what is that? And we finally sat through it.
Yeah.
God.
Painfully sat through it.
Oh, man. I was watching this movie through the whole time. I was just like, you can't be serious. Like, Neil Breen, he edited this movie himself, too. How did he not notice, like, was he, like, high when he, like, filmed it and then, like, edited it? Because, like, there's so many just, like, stuff that makes no sense.
Well, then again, like, you know, there's that one scene, like, where it's, like, it's a magical time. So maybe he was.
Oh, God.
Like, guys, we wish we could show you these clips, because, like, we want to, like, prove our points, but just take our word for it that, like, they're hilarious. You guys, if you guys want to watch the full version of the movie, there actually will probably be, like, a link in the description if you want to watch the full movie. Yeah. We'll probably list it. If you guys want to watch it, like, there's, like, a full hour version of it. So, if you guys don't believe us, go watch this movie. I think you'll be entertained, hopefully. Okay, so guys, there's a scene in this movie, right? Again, we're just talking about random stuff because like there's no point in trying to explain it properly, but so we explained earlier in the movie that Neil Breen as a kid, he had like a best friend, and they grew up and they separated ways, right? Well, in the future they meet up with one another and they're just like, oh, you're the love of my life, like. And, like, they're like, I think of you all the time. And it's just like, yeah, like, really romantic guys. Good job.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a scene, like, where, like, his wife and him are sitting down on the couch in, like, the living room. And they're just talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the wife accuses him of actually having, like, a relationship with her. And, like, there's just, like, this hilarious scene that we're going to act out for you guys right now.
I knew it. There is another girl.
No, that is not true. I have not been writing another novel. I have been hacking into government and corporate international systems all over, and I'm going to expose them for who they truly are. And no one knows that I'm doing it.
So Neil Breen or Dylan and his wife's friends, the drunk friend and his girlfriend, I think. Actually, I don't think they're married. Right?
They're married. They have a daughter. So
okay.
It would make sense.
They were in like a big argument as always. They're always fighting.
Yeah.
And so the dad, he just kind of stormed out and like went into the garage to work on his car. And the wife got really pissed off for some reason. Grabs a gun from like under the bed, and he's like, she goes outside to the garage. She's like, "I'm gonna shoot this car all full of holes." She said that.
Shoot this damn car full of holes.
And then the guy just like reacts like 3 seconds later, goes, "No, no, 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 no," and then just shoots him. And then the daughter comes to the garage, and she's like,
but you killed him. And they both look awkwardly at him, like for like a good 5 seconds. And then, the mom is trying to like block her. She's like, no, daddy, no. She's like, you didn't see anything.
Like what?
You didn't see. And then she just like go back to your room. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Your dad just got killed. And you're just like, dad, no. Okay.
And then the cherry on top, Neil Breen arrives.
Yes.
You cannot. What? You could not have committed suicide. I can't believe you committed suicide.
Like, again, like an awkward embrace. He's like holding him in his arms, like one knee's on the ground.
Yeah.
And like there's like blood all over him. And like Neil Breen gets blood on his arms because like that would happen. Probably.
He gets shot in the torso, but he's got like a bunch of blood draining out of his neck. And he's got blood in all kinds of random spots.
So he's on the ground holding him, right? And then like he has like again, like he's holding him in the ground on the ground, and like there's like blood all over his body, but like but of course like Neil Breen decides to do this. He takes some of the blood and just puts it on his face, and then there's like this long close up of him, and he's like, "I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you have committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide?"
It's just like, oh, he's just repeating the same thing. It's like, God.
I mean, only in Neil Breen's mind would that have been more dramatic if he got blood on his face. So,
I will say this though, I'm going to be buying a Neil Breen mug. I saw that online and I was like, yes, I have to have a Neil Breen mug.
I mean, you're gonna have a coffee. Get the coffee mug of him with the coffee mug scene. That's another scene we have to talk about. So the infamous coffee mug scene, right, guys? Everyone knows about it. And Neil Breen, he's just in his office, right? He's like typing away, doing his hacking skills, or he's doing his
Whatever
hacking,
he's doing, his work.
He's doing work. How about that? He's a hacker, or whatever. And so he has like he occasionally gets like these headaches or whatever because of his superpowers or like his medication or whatever, and like he has a coffee mug in his hands and he's like jiggling it, right? He's having trouble holding it, and at one point he has it over his computer, and at this point you can pretty much guarantee what's gonna happen. He has the coffee mug, he's like trying to and he just like ends up spilling it all over his like keyboard, and he's just like, oh.
No, what's funny is because he's like shaking the coffee mug, and then he's laying on top of his computer,
yeah,
and he's got the coffee mug, and he sets it down onto the keypad, and you're like, okay, he didn't spill it, but then he's just laying back down, and he's like trying to take a sip of his coffee while he's laying down, and he just spills it. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, come on, Neil Breen, come on, man.
I mean, even if you were like laying down your keyboard, there's just no way you're not going to spill that coffee. I mean, like,
golly.
And guys, there's probably more scenes that we're not even talking about as of right now, but let's talk about like the last couple of scenes in the movie with like Neil Breen finally hacking into the government agencies or whatever, and he exposes them. So he's basically he's in the White House, or no, he's in Washington, but no, he's not even in Washington. He's behind a green screen. He's behind a green screen.
Yeah, completely green screen.
You can tell it's a green screen. Like,
yeah.
At least with our green screen, it's convincing to watch. So, but like, there's easily a green screen, and like, he's like, so I've exposed all of these corporate greeds for like their business practices and how bad it is and like how it's ruining America and like the country and everything. And then like you see like all these corporate greeds, these guys who just come out, and they're just like, I cannot save myself now. It's too late to do anything else. I have failed all of you, and it is true I have stolen from a lot of you guys. And like this is what happens. He just slowly pulls out a gun, brings it to his head, pulls the trigger, and like it just immediately cuts to like another guy. But the funny thing about him pulling the trigger is that there's no gore or anything. It just like simply just shoots, and you can tell it went straight through his head. And like a second later, it just cuts to something else. Like,
yeah.
Like there's no
like
gore.
It's just a sound effect.
It's just a sound effect.
Like it doesn't even show anything.
There's no tension here. Like it's not even. It's. I'm sorry. It's just funny. Like.
And he messed up on like a couple of them because you hear the gunshot, all right, and then it cuts to the next part like literally 2 seconds later. Boom. And then it cuts. It's like, what?
Yeah, a lot of the special effects don't work. And especially, there's like one scene, again, just going off on a tangent, but there's one scene in the movie like where he's like typing on his keyboard, right? And you can hear the sound effect of the keyboard typing, but he's like typing, he's like click, click, clack, 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 and then like he takes his hands off the keyboard, clearly not typing, and yet for some reason it's still making the sound.
Yeah.
It's so painfully obvious. It's just like click, 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 clack, takes his hands off, click, 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 clack.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I don't think this movie was meant to be taken serious because there's so many just parts in the movie that just did not make any sense whatsoever, and they were just like, how did you not know to like cover that up or fix that?
Yeah,
change it.
Once again, guys, like I respect a filmmaker's ambition, but the thing is, I just don't think that if Neil Breen is taking his film career seriously, okay, but I just don't see him taking his movies seriously. You know,
it's so funny because watching the movie, like all the people in the movie are just like, why am I in this movie?
No, there are shots you can tell of them that are just they look to the camera as if like that one bathroom scene we were talking about earlier, like
where they look at the camera.
Yeah, like he's just like, please stop doing that. And this girl, she looks to the screen, she's like. She lingers on the screen. She lingers that position for like maybe like 5 to 10 seconds. She's like,
yeah. Is that the daughter?
That's the daughter. Yeah,
the daughter.
Yeah. Again, like she's infatuated with Neil Breen for some reason. So like, that's why like Neil Breen's like telling her to stop having an infatuation with me because like I'm married and like, you're still young and everything. And
exactly.
I don't know, guys. Like,
It's one crazy movie.
I don't know. But overall, guys, Fateful Findings is a miracle. It's so bad. It's a treasure of some kind. And again, I can't consider it so bad that it's good, but there are moments of it that did make me laugh. And you guys might enjoy this movie more than I did, but yeah, I mean, what did you think about it, Steven?
The movie was shit,
Yeah.
but it was kind of entertaining, honestly. So Neil Breen, he kind of succeeded in a way.
Yeah.
But the movie's just so bad it's good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the whole... You guys gotta go watch it. Just the whole movie is just...
Yeah. If you guys are expecting something like Academy Award winning here,
you're not gonna get it.
You're wasting your time. You like who are you taking this for?
Yeah. This movie had to have been on a very small budget, obviously.
It had to have been.
It was an independent film. It's nothing amazing.
But again, but being respectful towards Neil Breen, he actually does pay his actors, and like he actually does set up. I mean, again, like
he's legit.
He actually tries to make it professional. He pays his actors. He has like lunch days for them. You know, he wants to make everything professional. Again, that part of his filmmaking process I respect because he actually trying to be professional. But when it comes to his movies, again, I just can't take the movies seriously. But I can take his career seriously because of his ambitions. But the movies themselves, I just don't think they're that serious.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he's trying to make them sound serious because they're about social commentaries for the most part. They actually do have messages behind them, like, you know, corporate greed is bad. You know, like being mean to each other is bad. So, I don't know, guys.
Well, guys, I have to say, this is the only Neil Breen movie I've seen out of the 3.
This is his 4th film, I think.
Okay, out of the 4 films, this is the only one I've seen. But I do want to see his other films, just because.
Yeah.
So, alright guys, so that's going to be it. We're going to be wrapping up for this week's review. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Fateful Findings. You guys go be sure to check it out. And give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Alright, see you guys.